This is Next Radio 2016 with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.
Hi everybody, I'm Julia. I'd like to take you back to the beginning. Remember what it was like when you were first starting out with maybe a vague idea that you wanted to do something in radio. This is me at 21, just fresh out of university in my first job as a studio manager at the BBC World Service. And for the nerds like me, that is a Type B desk with rotary pots. I'm now a freelance audio producer, and I also lecture in radio at the University of Gloucestershire in Cheltenham. I teach mainly 18 to 21-year-olds, and I also teach radio to journalism and popular music students. My challenge is to provide them with the skills they need, so when they get to you, they're pretty much ready to go, because we accept that you don't have time to train them nowadays. So I'd like to paint you a picture of the type of person who might walk through your doors, either on work experience or in their first job with you. Here's the 4.5 things you need to know about the next generation of radio professionals. Number 1, the good news. They're really creative. My students are really incredibly passionate about their student station, Tone Radio. It's where they get free rein to pretty much run it how they like, and it's where they hone their skills and experiment. They've really begin to see themselves as a brand, although this actually means that they sail as close to the wind as they possibly can and try and get as much publicity out of it as a result. So let me give you a couple of examples of this. You might not know, but Tone Radio is actually the UK's first Bieber-free radio station and has banned its presenters from playing tracks by Justin Bieber. But our station manager, Tom, had a change of heart on the International Day of Peace, which is on Wednesday, by the way. He decided to call a truce with Justin and play nothing but back-to-back Bieber for one day only. He tweeted Justin, asking for forgiveness, pleading with him, got in contact with the management, and also sent a press release to his fans. Well, you can imagine, the Beliebers, his fans, absolutely loved it. Back-to-back Bieber for 24 hours. No response from Justin's management, but plenty of publicity for Tone Radio. Then, that's one of the tweets there, as you can see. In the summer break, just before they broke up for the summer, they produced a breakfast show that paid tribute to North Korea. Yes, of course. There was lots of stories in the news that week about North Korea threatening the West, with missiles again. So they decided to set up a competition to build a homemade rocket that they could launch on behalf of Kim Jong-un. And obviously, the person whose rocket went the furthest won a picture of the great leader. I know what you're thinking, an Ofcom nightmare, right? So they set this up in the car park. They recorded live from it. They had some stirring nationalistic music in the background, and they filmed the whole thing. They wanted to get out of the studio. They wanted to create some visual content for the website. But actually what they really wanted to do was just push that line. Now you can see the whole thing on YouTube, but here is just a little clip for you.
Come on.
A lot of pressure building here.
Oh
my gosh! Oh! I think we found a winner.
I think we found a winner. Undoubtedly, Kim Kardashian has gone the furthest. And as a prize, Adam, you've won yourself a wonderful frame picture of the great leader that you can put up in your room and admire for a lot of time to come.
Mad, okay? Possibly in poor taste, maybe as well, but I would argue definitely creative. And don't worry, we do teach them about how to fill out a compliance form and about media law, so they shouldn't get you into, well, they should actually just get you into the right amount of trouble. Okay, number 2, they don't listen to the radio. You'll have seen the Ofcom reports that says that listening to the radio by 15 to 24-year-olds has fallen by 5 hours in 10 years. I'm here to tell you that I see this every single day. When I first started lecturing, I wanted to be inspiring, to enthuse my students with a love and passion for radio. The reality? Very different. In my first lectures, I had to cope with flatulence. Theirs, I might add, not mine. Competing with Facebook and vaping. Imagine trying to lecture in a fog of sweet caramel for 3 hours. But one of the things that really, really surprised me is when I asked my popular music students, so, what do you listen to on the radio? Silence, tumbleweed, a whisper from the back. I sometimes listen to Six Music. That's my reality. I'm teaching radio to students who don't listen to the radio. But then why would they? My first years were born in 1998. That's way after the internet started. They haven't heard the Radio 1 Roadshow or Round the Horn. For them, it's about video, video, video. Posting on social media and maybe events like Radio 1's Big Weekend. So, of course, we teach them how to visualize audio, we teach them how to podcast, and we teach them how to vlog. But I still think it's important to teach them radio, the art of storytelling, of creating interesting content that makes a human connection with your audience, because I think that's relevant too. So, they're not listening to radio in a traditional sense, okay? But that's because they're inventing new ways of listening to audio. Which brings me on to number 3. Skills. They've got great skills that you and your stations should be using. They're the people that you should be asking to film and video edit your visual content and increase your Instagram followers. The people who should be involved in your digital marketing and social media strategy. Your stations may be pondering, should we be using Snapchat? Oh, they're on to the next thing. They're exploring binaural and beyond. One of my students, Adam, spent a week with tiny microphones in his ears, recording what he heard. It was all part of a project called Through My Ears, about how we can listen to audio more creatively. Adam's also got a way with words when it comes to how stations should be dealing with their social media. Julia, they should be like butter on toast, across every slice, but in sparse quantities. Brilliant. I think stations can only benefit from students like Adam. Okay, number 4, and this is the thing that shocked and saddened me the most. This is an email from one of my students. Hi, Julia. I can't come to your lecture today because I suffer from severe anxiety and I can't leave the house at the moment. Everyone, that's all of you in this room, has a 1 in 4 chance of suffering from a mental health issue, and this is borne out in the students that I teach. Anxiety, depression, bipolar are all much more common than you think. Expectations are so high. Many of my students are working full-time or part-time jobs to pay for their £9,000 a year education, and often there's no jobs at the end of it. My generation didn't have to cope with cyberbullying, body shaming. Young people live so much of their lives out in public nowadays. And, they are encouraged to talk through their problems. At the university, we provide them with help and support. But you as, industry people may also have to offer an empathetic ear to your future colleagues. And that half a thing, a plea to those of you who receive the thousands of CVs from media students in your inboxes. Remember what it was like when you first started out. You'd send an email or maybe a letter and you got no response. Put yourself in their shoes. Give them a chance. Share your knowledge. Because the people that I'm putting in contact with you are really talented. So I want to paint you a picture of the next generation of radio professionals. Well, here they are. A motley crew. This is my 3rd years. They just left in the summer. They've been brilliant. They're so positive. They've got none of that cynicism that comes with experience. They've actually made me a better producer as well, because I think sometimes going back to the basics means that, you can actually realise you've been getting into some quite bad habits. And they've taught me about music genres I've never heard of. Screamo, anyone? Vaporwave? No, exactly. I'm so proud of them. One of them's got some regular work at BBC Radio Gloucestershire, and some of them also had placements at BBC North, Absolute, TalkSport, and Sam FM. I had a Facebook message just last month from Dane. He's the one in the middle with the glasses. He's here somewhere. He has got a job as an imaging producer at Magic. Not too shabby at all, just 3 months out of the blocks. He thanked me for making him persevere, for pushing him. And I kind of felt, pretty happy to play a very small part in his success. I was chuffed, even a little tearful, and thought, job done. Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is Next Radio 2016 with Broadcast Bionics. Innovative solutions for creative people.